Today, we're talking about sports cars in the skies.
It's not science fiction anymore because us and others are flying since 2022. So it's possible. It's an aerial Humvee with no people on board. You can buy 50 of those in the price of a helicopter. Many products are built with extreme complexity because it can be done, not because it should be done.
Hello, I'm Sharon Adjustment. I'm the co-founder of the Israel Conference, bringing you another episode of our conversations. Israel means business. Today, we're talking about sports cars in the skies, or personal aviation, the incredible ability of taking passengers on journeys above the roads at Autobahn speed with the ability to take off and land vertically. These are eVTOL, electric vertical takeoff and landing, or electric air vehicles. As part of our window into cool technology, we're bringing you a fabulous company which is at the intersection of transportation and defense tech. We're talking today about the company called Air and their Air One vehicle, a disruptor in the personal transportation and the future of load moving. We're joined by Rani Plaut, a renowned physics expert and aviation and automotive genius, who is the CEO and leader of the company called Air, based out of Israel. Rani, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
How did Air go from concept to reality? How did you come together with your partner and inventor?
The company is a brainchild of Chen Rosen, my partner, and the CTO of the company. He was the one who initiated the thought about the core of the product, which is extending the range of a drone using a wing with low complexity. It sounds like it's a long sentence, but every word is important. He was joined by Nathaniel Goldberg, our second founder, who is an expert on hardware and software development, and I joined the team, frankly, as an investor. My previous company is a tier one supplier still today to aviation and aerospace and automotive. And after working with Chen for a few months, I took the helm as a CEO and I joined as a co-founder and not only an investor and a board member. And the rest is history.
For the benefit of our listeners, can you give us a quick understanding of the specifications of the Air One as to speed, battery, distance?
Sure. So the Air One is based on a platform. It's a total maximum takeoff weight of 1.2 ton. The capacity or the payload, the useful payload is 250 kilograms or 550 pounds, which means you can take either 550 pounds of payload or cargo, or two occupants with luggage, depending on the size of the breakfast they ate, naturally. It's very spacious. It feels like a sports car, like a luxury sports car. Usually in an aircraft, you are very crammed into a very small space. This aircraft is very spacious and very accommodating to the user or to the customer. We have a wingspan of about 30 feet. We have a duration of about an hour, which means you can fly in cruise mode close to an hour, which correlates to 60 to 100 miles, depending on the conditions, of course, headwind or backwind and so forth. It falls completely into something which in the size of a pickup truck, an F-150, let's say.
So, Ronnie, many eVTOL companies are focused on the urban air taxis and commercial services, as we've been thinking about it. But Air is pursuing predominantly the personal ownership, as we're saying, the sports car of the sky.
Yes.
What convinced you that personal eVTOLs rather than shared mobility is the right path forward? And where do you think the concept of flying vehicles lands in the commercial space versus science fiction today in the market?
So first of all, it's not science fiction anymore because we're flying, and us and others are flying since 2022. So it's possible. Electric aviation comes with a promise and the limitation. The limitation, of course, is range because battery has much less energy density than fossil fuel. But still, for short range, mid range, these are viable applications. So electric aviation, what's the hurdles So why isn't aviation so commonly used as cars? And we think that the main hurdle is complexity and skill set required. So the aircraft are normally either very complex and or needs requires high skills. When you have a computerized fly-by-wire based aircraft like the Air One or other eVTOLs, everything is controlled by the computer. So you're just asking for actions to happen. The computer computes everything. Have envelope protection. It's easier to operate. The second hurdle is friction with the general population, which basically boils down to noise and infrastructure required. And being electric vertical uh, removes most of those hurdles. The third hurdle is price, and this is still more pricey than a car. And we solve it because we have a very special concept of working in automotive style. So our bill of material is somewhere in the range of 10 to 15% of the other carriers. Um, and this is why electric aviation has a problem.
So, Ronnie, if I were to purchase one of the cars,
Mhm.
can you tell me what kind of license? I have a regular driver's license. Do I need a license? What kind of training class would I need? And how much money do I need to buy one of the vehicles so that I can have my sports car in the sky?
So first of all, yeah. So we don't call it a car. Frankly, I don't know how to call it. eVTOL is a goofy name, right? It's a, we need something cooler, and I don't have it. So it's not a helicopter. It's not an aircraft. It's not a car. It's a category that nobody named yet. Um, the the cool thing about air is that we are following the private sector and not the commercial sector. You do need a license, but it's the lowest level of piloting. In piloting license, you have a sports pilot, which is about 20 hours of practice. You have the private pilot, which is about 40 hours of practice. When you go commercial, it's up to 250 hours of practice. So we are at the mid-level, 40 out of 40 hours. You will go lower to the 20 hours range. You need a license. You get into a car, you need a license. You get on a bike, you need a license. It's a very short and regular license. The curriculum is specialized to our aircraft, as in all aircraft. So if you to learn to fly a Cessna 172, you are licensed to fly that aircraft. If you move to a different one, you need to want to compensate for the difference, which is not very complex. So yes, you need a license. The cool thing about air is that it's very easy and accommodating to operate. We call it fly by intent. So you operate the stick. You don't have any paddles. You don't have any throttle. You just ask the thing to do what you want by moving the stick.
I'm flying to from point A to point B. That's my intent.
Yeah.
Is the computer and the software that's running the vehicle determining air resistance and height considerations to get me from point A to point B, so I really don't have to touch the gear shift?
You hold the stick, and the stick basically you ask your movements or you end movements what to do. Very different from many other aircraft. For example, the aircraft will choose its optimal speed. So you can ask for changing the speed, but we prefer that you don't. And when we do it in the user experience, the interface between the man-machine interface is such that you can change the speed, but you are not welcomed to do it ergonomically. So the speed is constant. Climb, for example, a regular aircraft speed will reduce because you invest more energy in climbing. In our aircraft, it doesn't happen.
The software is always optimizing battery life with distance so that I can't be a hot shot. If I wanted to go 150 miles per hour throughout the entire flight, I would use up the battery more rapidly than the software might modulate.
Yes, and you can do it, and then you'll run out of battery at some point, and the aircraft, if you don't land yourself, the aircraft will land itself.
So that brings me to the question of safety.
Yeah.
Because once I leave the ground, the cautious me says you're up in the air. What if you run out of battery? What are your safety measures that you've built in? Any redundancy? Any savior solutions?
So first of all, there is a parachute, but this is like a last resort solution. That should never happen. We have a very high level of redundancy. Everything is quadrupleized. So you have 4 systems of most of the components, and in some cases 8 systems. Which means you can lose a motor or 2 or 4 out of the 8. You can lose a battery. We have 4 batteries which are completely separated. So theoretically and statistically speaking, nothing will happen. Uh, it's never zero. It's 1 in 100 billion times.
And can I carry extra batteries and change them out so that my flying distance can be more than 100, 110 miles?
No, this is I mean, it's optimized to the weight. One of the key problems of batteries, sorry, is the energy density. As I said before, um, fossil fuel has 30 times the energy density of batteries. 30 to 50 times. It depends on what technologies you're using, which means there is a maximum or optimum of what you can get out of the battery. Theoretically, you could take 100 pounds or more of batteries, but you don't do it also in cars because it's an 800-volt system. You don't want to play with the system. But range will be extended more and more with battery.
So
As
as
they
batteries get more efficient and powerful and lighter, then that'll correlate to the range and the
Yes,
duration.
yes, yes. Same as in cars. If you recall, the first Teslas used to drive the it was X, but it was said that it would be 200 miles, but it was 90, and it got to a very, very high number. Same goes for us. We will be having a range extenders or so a hybrid solution within 18 months from today. Um, when you say electric aircraft, the core is the propulsion, is the motor. The energy source can be a battery, can be a fuel cell, or can be a fossil fuel based generator.
All right, so you're constantly searching for different sources of energy, whether they
Yeah, yeah.
be a fossil fuel, a battery, a hydrogen cell.
Yes.
Okay, so and that's the whole automotive or mobility industry is
Mhm.
continuously trying to search for that.
Yeah, this is the cool point is that when you pick such a thing, and half the planet is working on that, something will come up, and already have. Already.
So if I have one of your vehicles,
Yeah.
where do I park it? And where once I as a second part of that, can I just move it into the street where I live, take off, and go to my office? And what happens at my office? Tell me the story of a day in the life of flying.
So first of all, again, we are trying to simplify things. So we're trying to use infrastructure which is already there. Um, in aviation, you have maps. So if you're an airliner, you have routes. If you are a private helicopter, you have routes. We, as a private aircraft, if you fly under 1,200 feet, you are allowed to fly freely at about 95% of the area of the United States, which basically means you cannot go over high density populated areas, metropolitans. You cannot go into commercial airports, and you cannot go over military bases. Now, if you think about it, most of the space isn't one of those. If you're in Texas or Kansas or Utah, and you have a ranch, or you live in Florida in in a small community, and your office is not in Miami but the outskirts of the big city. So if you're out of West Palm Beach, you can fly from Indian Town, Florida, to West Palm Beach land outside of the metropolitan and then take an Uber, for example. Now, naturally, you would have to land at places where you have chargers. But again, this was the problem when EV started. If you look at the past decade, uh, if you asked people what's the market size of electric vehicles, ground electric vehicles, 12 years ago, the answer would have been zero. It went up to a few millions in 10 years. I think 5.1 million today. So as somebody once said, it's very hard to make predictions, especially about the future. So we think that we are at the tipping point at this point in electric aviation, the same it was in electric ground vehicles 10 or 12 years ago.
That's helping to define the primary market at this point. Now, I need those wings. It's unlike a helicopter where it's got a rotary blade on top. This has wings and rotary uh, devices like a drone
Yeah,
yeah, propelling it forward. Let's talk technically for just a second. What do those wings do for me? Are they modulating the air that comes under that lifts me up? Or why do I need such large wingspan when a drone doesn't?
So in a drone configuration, all of the energy is pointed downwards. Okay, so you support all of your weight. In a large drone, normally, if you just hover, you can hover for anywhere between 7 to 12 minutes. When you move forward and you have a wing, if you can do it, and this is the tricky part, and this is how you prevail, you shift most of the weight to the wing, so thus reducing the load on the thrusters. Which means instead of hovering for 7 to 12 minutes, you can fly forward for an hour because of the wing, supported by the wing.
I see. So for distance transport, the wings
Yeah.
enable me to arrive at a location 100 miles from point A.
Yes, and again, the next question is it enough? Is 100 miles enough? And my question is, can I find 5,000 people, which for 100 miles is enough? And the answer is that a very large portion of the flights today are 20 to 40 miles.
So that brings the question to is your primary market the consumer, or as we were talking, is it commercial, package distribution, or is it military? What's been your experience and where are your sales coming from?
So, in my background, I have a few failures and a few successes, and what I have, my takeout is that an entrepreneur comes with a notion of how the world works and what will happen in the future. If that's your only thought process, you're going to fail because the surprise. I mean, there is in the outer universe, people around you, and the business concepts and the business climate and the financial arena as rules of their own, minds of their own, and you have to listen. There is you. The most important thing is to have a very short and efficient feedback loop in order to see whether you are right and wrong. And in most cases, you are a little bit wrong, and you have to adjust. So we have a lot of applications. We can have agricultural applications. We have some first responding applications. We have maritime applications, ship to ship, and so forth. Um, it boils down to the platform we have. So we have a platform which is unmanned for cargo, and we have a platform which is manned or piloted for private use. Um, we follow the money, the business. So if the cargo application started before the piloted application, even though we wanted to have the piloted application first, um, defense cargo applications started paying off really well in 2023. Our first customer is a service provider to logistics. So these are the DHLs and the FedExes and the UPSs and TNTs of the world, the innovators of those worlds, and people with with a specific need of hub to hub flexibility. The business case is about replacing inventory with flexibility. So, instead of progressing a lot of inventory to the next phase, you have most of it on the previous phase, with the ability to very rapidly transport things over the air.
So they're going from point A to point B with up to 550 pounds of cargo. Can this vehicle do multiple stops?
What we see is people having routes. We have a specific hub to two or three other specific hubs, and it's a spoke method where you uh, have flexibility between two or maybe three.
Is your second largest customer base then military?
Defense is larger than civilian market, frankly. In the defense sector, there are some budgets, and there is a use case that has been defined for 2.5 decades. So they didn't say eVTOL. They said the desire is, I wish I could move stuff without risking people and without having a double-digit million-dollar capex.
Yes.
So moving with the helicopter is very good, but the helicopter is $60-70 million with two pilots and a squadron that costs hundreds of millions of dollars. What we are to defense logistics is an aerial Humvee with no people on board,
Wow.
and the price is single-digit percent of a helicopter. So we are in the range of $1 million plus, which means you can buy 50 of those in the price of a helicopter.
So you can be carrying a load of 500, 550 pounds, delivering it from the supply station to the use location
Yes.
and return in a
Yes.
sort of 50-mile radius.
Yes. So medical supply, food, ammunition, whatever is requested, and again, they didn't specify aerial. They just wanted to move stuff tens of miles, hundreds of pounds, without risking people. And
This is a huge category, especially with the conflicts that exist in the Ukraine and Russia and throughout the Middle East. Are these your customers?
yes, again, we have sold a double-digit number of aircraft. We have delivered the first few. We will be delivering this year. This year alone, what we have now on the book is 19 aircraft, which is a fairly large number for aircraft. The the ability of the buying capability of defense customers is in the hundreds each.
Yes. So in order to accommodate, where are you building the aircraft, and what kind of space are you using for this?
Currently, we have a 30,000 square feet facility in Israel. We are now in a site selection process in the US. The aircraft will be manufactured in the US, and most of the suppliers are US based. Um, we have the facility in Israel because the R&D is Israeli. A large portion of the aircraft, most of the innovation is done on the software part, and this will remain in Israel because this is our competitive advantage.
To facilitate the building of the plant, that's a good use of funds. So financing of the company. I know that you mentioned that you were an early financer of the company, but you have rounds going on. So you just led Series A, 23 million or so, Entree
Yes.
Capital, Mobile Eye Investors, IAI. Tell us a little bit about your financing and what are your plans in the near term?
We are going into a round of somewhere between 50 to 150 million dollars, and this will facilitate our ramping up and growth. Some of it will be. The cool thing is that once you have purchase orders and a flying aircraft, some of it can come from debt, but we will surely go to an equity round in the near future.
So that opens up two questions. One is on your website, you have a a form of a heat map showing
Yeah.
where your customers are, and it's quite a variety dispersion
Yeah.
throughout the United States, throughout the rest of the world. You seem to have customers in selected customers in the Middle East and customers in Europe and customers throughout the United States. How do they become customers? What is the story arc of discovery through purchase?
So first of all, we're doing no marketing. So we have I'm an older guy now, so but TikTok works. Um, we have we have clips or reels with 8 million viewers and then 20 million viewers. So people are attracted to the product. Uh, we have customers in all 50 states. People just click on the website. At the beginning, we talked a bit of deposit. I stopped taking deposits because there are too many customers. Over 3,000 people in the world, out of which over 2,000 are in the States. We have customers in all 50 states. Um, so they are just discovering us by word of mouth, or we're doing no active campaigns on the internet or otherwise.
Are these, Ronnie, are these customers or are these uh, individuals or companies that have put in a pre-order?
Um, in the commercial domain, so cargo, these are purchase orders. So people, and this is of course a very long engagement process of due diligence, financial due diligence, and technological due diligence, and performance due diligence. And once this is done, they just purchase aircraft. So these are real purchase orders with down payments in the millions of dollars. In the private sector, we just have an open waiting list. People are registered, they're registering and getting a tail number. We hope to start fulfilling them this year.
Okay, that's really impressive. So I have two more questions for you. One is your partner. Is he a visionary, a dreamer, a practical discoverer, an outlier thinker? How did you meet him, and how would you describe him?
First of all, we are very much alike. We also a little bit, we look a little bit the same. We differ in height. So when we stand, you can know which is which, but we look kind of the same. We're bald with glasses and so forth. Um, so we are both outlier thinkers. We challenge the paradigms, not for the sake of challenging. So it's not provocateuring for the sake of provocation. Some things, especially in engineering, are done because of legacy. So you do it because this is the way it's done. In many cases, when you look at things and you break things to the pieces of the puzzle that the thing is built of, you find out that there are many compromises, and challenging the paradigm. Again, it's not a system. Just in some cases, you say, "Why are you doing this? It's not efficient. It's not the right way." And many products are built with extreme complexity because it can be done, not because it should be done.
So you brought in the practical side, and he brought in the can be done.
Yes, and again, it's a mix. We're very much alike. So
Nice, very nice. Ronnie, I see behind you a picture of Einstein, and we all know that Einstein was an incredible thinker.
yeah, yeah.
Where does that picture come from?
I painted it.
So you have an artistic side.
Yes, I paint. I have a lot of drawings here. I sketch. I also I rebuild old cars. Keep it
So
busy.
you are a creative thinker, doer, and accomplisher. Going back to the segment of your customer base that sounds like it'll come after military and after commercial. Uh, how if I want to join that list on the consumer side and become one of the dots on your map, what would I do? How much does it cost me? And where do I sign up?
It's on the website. It's rav.aero. It's free of charge currently because we don't take deposits anymore. we will start taking larger deposits very, very soon to convert the waiting list into customers, because we have basically not passed the certification, but we have a very clear path to certification this year. So we will start converting from waiting list to final customers very, very shortly.
If I signed up today, what time period would I expect to get it during 2026, 2027, or 2028?
Good question. We expect to deliver 5 to 10 aircraft this year. We hope to get to over 100 2027, and the ramp up shows pathway to a few hundred in 2028. 29 should be thousands. So, given the fact that there are 2,000 in the US alone, and we will start many in the United States, if you sign up today, you will probably get it in 29.
Then I'm signing up today, and I urge everyone watching this to sign up and let Ronnie know that you're interested in one of his eVTOLs, which is called Air One.
Yeah.
Ronnie, I can't thank you enough for giving us the insights, both at the technical level and at the concept level, to change how we think about vehicles and moving things around, including ourselves. And I hope someday that your range will go all the way from Los Angeles to Tel Aviv on one flight and one battery charge.
We all pray for that.
Absolutely.
Thank you very
Rani,
much.
toda rabah and b'hatzlacha. We will be watching you every movement you make up into the skies and beyond.
Toda. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rani. To see more conversations with extraordinary Israeli business entrepreneurs, visit theisraelconference.org.
In the jungle, watch me soar. Spirit for the rumble, I'll give grace for when they stumble. You pull them up, I watch them crumble.